Another episode of my brother?
He stinks.
Let's mix it up. Welcome to Mixtape Generation. I'm Adam.
I'm Chance.
And this is now part 2 of spending time with my brother.
Yeah, nachos are us.
Nachos are us.
7-Eleven loves you.
1984. He thinks is the greatest year of the 80s.
Of life.
We'll debate that. We might wrestle him.
Arm wrestle.
Pile driver. We'll see what happens. So, hey, why don't you enjoy part 2 of this wonderful series?
What's your first memory of this icon?
Again, hindsight is 2020. She's amazing. She's crazy as a loon, but she's amazing. Trailblazer. When she hooked herself up to great producers, so you see her career along the way where she'd go to different producers. Like, what's the one she did with Justin Timberlake and Timbaland?
Oh,
I had that in my rotation in the mid 2000s.
That's not the no.
Time's Up or something like that.
Oh yeah, okay.
Amazing because mostly because of Timberland's production, but I could go back and I had a Madonna kick for a couple of years where I had her in rotation on Spotify because it's just great stuff. It was really good.
Well, and I think with Madonna, she knew how to sell herself and how to market herself.
Yeah. And
was she a great singer?
No.
I mean, there's stories of, and I don't know if these are true or folklore, but her singing live.
So don't sue us, Madonna.
Yeah, is that back in the 80s when she would perform live, she would sing along with a track of herself.
Oh,
the studio.
Please tell me that singers don't sing along a track.
I mean, they do that nowadays. I mean, that's,
I'm sure Taylor Swift does not sing.
But back then that wasn't as much of an occurrence. But because she couldn't sing in tune without that.
Oh,
I don't know if that's true.
But the thing is, she's not a strong singer. You know, she's not Aretha Franklin or
no, she's not going to be riffing and doing all these runs.
No, she wasn't Whitney Houston. She sang the notes, and they were kind of weak. She had kind of a weak voice, but she had the attitude, and she knew the style. I think the reason I didn't like Madonna is because you look at this picture. Every girl in high school was dressed like this.
Yeah, and everybody wanted the jelly rings and. Yeah.
I was like, okay.
And then the Desperately Seeking Susan movie came out, and every more wanted to be like Madonna. So, but yeah, Madonna's fantastic.
Although, I think we talked about this the other day. This was a great year for her. This Like a Virgin album, amazing. And the videos, she really understood MTV. So one song was themed this way, and the other song, her Material Girl video it's amazing how they put it together and redid. She's channeling Marilyn Monroe, which is who she was. She was the next Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah.
But her better stuff is her
Ray of Light album.
Yeah, her house
Ray of Light album.
House disco, is that what they call it?
Well, the other thing, you bring up a good point with like people like Madonna who understood MTV. The ones that really succeeded in the 80s understood what MTV was, and they were able to take advantage of that medium by creating these images of themselves through the video, and the Duran Durans, the Michael Jacksons, the Madonnas, really understood. Okay, MTV is about this visual format. That's how I'm gonna sell myself.
Thriller would have been a big album, but MTV just threw it in the stratosphere.
Oh yeah,
and then of course the Thriller Project and
the making of it and all that.
Okay, this is a good page you turn to because this is fascinating because you were thinking of this.
Yeah,
I'm looking at this. Okay. So we've got two different albums here, Art of Noise and Chicago. Chicago, 17? My goodness, 17 albums. And you couldn't see a greater difference in music in this time period than these two. And I like them both. I'm not a big Chicago fan. I think they were a little cheesy. I like their older stuff, and I'm not a Peter Cetera guy. It's too poppy for me. But you can't not deny that Chicago was a force to be reckoned with. I mean, the songwriting, the production, the performance was great. But over here on the left is Art of Noise. And not a lot of people are big Art of Noise fans. I loved Art of Noise because it was interesting. It was, these guys could cut. Before what's the stuff you guys use to produce music? The software. Final Cut Pro.
Pro Tools.
Pro Tools. Before Pro Tools, these guys were cutting tape and editing to make these amazing pieces of music. The beats were on, and they really were the cutting edge of where electronic music was going to go. And I love Art of Noise.
They had a hit in the late 80s, radio hit. Like it was really popular. I mean, this was like
Well, they did a version.
fringe stuff, but then there was like a hit in the 80s, later 80s.
They did Peter Gunn theme song.
Peter Gunn, that's
And then they also did Prince's Kiss.
yeah,
But they did it with Tom Jones.
that's right. That was Art of Noise and Tom Jones.
Tom Jones. And Tom Jones knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
Because he took it from Prince's kind of funk. The Prince version is very, very much funk. And Tom Jones took it to cheese.
Yeah, he made
And-
this poppy
and it
Art
was-
of Noise. Yeah, it was so. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, that was really good. So Art of Noise is great. Not a lot of people understand Art of Noise, but I like them. Good selection.
Yeah, I was just like Chicago. We all had the album.
Well, I
Listened to
mean,
it.
all
this
of us.
this is when David
Radio.
Foster was coming in and taking over Chicago,
Okay.
writing their songs, and so they became this piano-heavy, ballad-heavy band.
Yeah.
And I love David Foster. I think he's fantastic, and he's a great songwriter and producer. Looking back now, at the time I didn't like it, but I kind of did. But now I can see David Foster. I mean,
This is why this is where I think I get off the boat with pop music, because of that David Foster production value with the heavy piano or the synth piano,
Yeah.
and the drums were, if they weren't click tracks, and I didn't really have click track, but they were still just pro forma.
simple. Yeah.
It was the evolution of 70s cheesy pop, now with higher production values. So. I don't know. I mean, now granted, the flip side of it is when you're 16 years old dancing to a Chicago song with Peter Cetera, or I Am
Glory
Your
of
Man.
Love.
Yeah,
You
Glory of
you
Love.
were digging the Glory
Yeah,
of Love at
yeah.
that school dance if you had
Listen.
a partner to dance with.
Yeah, it was.
If you were a wallflower, you hated it.
That's a great album because there's so many
there's a
good
lot of-
songs.
Yeah.
Stay the Night, Along Comes a Woman.
But the thing is, it's the evolution of Chicago,
Yeah,
where they
it's
went
great.
from really great funk, horn-driven, or soul, horn-driven soul and kind of rock music, to Peter Cetera.
And then by the late 80s, the horns were completely gone. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. So,
Which I did like their late 80s stuff.
but you can hear
Look Away and that's good.
But you can hear an 80s song. Whitney was doing some of this, and you just hear that piano come in, and you know what you're getting. And
Yep.
that wasn't my cup of tea.
I'm trying to find a Whitney Houston in '84. I wonder what.
But again, hindsight is great. You look at Whitney Houston; she was just amazing.
Pretenders.
The
Maybe a
Pretender?
one album wonder.
They had two. They had Learning to Crawl is '84. The previous one was the one where
I had the
Brass
Chain
and
Gang?
Pocket. No,
Oh.
Chain Gang is on this one. Brass and Pocket
was on the previous.
was on the previous one, 82
Pretenders.
to 82. They were,
Chrissy Hynde. She's great.
yeah, she's good. She had attitude, man. She still has attitude. It's great.
New Edition was 84. Is
Hmm.
this Bobby Brown? Wasn't Bobby Brown in New Edition?
Ricky Bell, Michael Bivins. Is that
Oh, Belle Biv DeVoe came out of
DeVoe?
New-
Oh yeah, yeah. I got Bobby Brown,
Bobby Brown, yeah.
Ronnie DeVoe, and Ralph Tresvant. I don't know Ralph Tresvant. And then Johnny Gill joined later.
So look at this New Edition, killer boy band from the mid '80s, and then they break off, and you get Bobby Brown, who was huge late '80s. You get Belle Biv DeVoe, which was pretty popular late
I love
'80s.
Bell Biv DeVoe. That's good stuff.
But
Yeah, these
yeah,
are
it
good.
was Poison. Was that Belle Biv DeVoe?
Yeah.
Or Lips Are Poison. Yeah.
Yeah. New Edition's interesting too because we hadn't this. They're really a retro flashback because you look at the history of rock and roll, and in the 50s there wasn't really rock. There was Elvis and some rockabilly, but you had in like New Jersey and New York City these doo-wop groups coming out of there that were really formed the foundation for that merging of rock and soul. And so New Edition comes along in the 80s, and they're just really redoing what those doo-wop groups were doing, but now with
And
better
a
production.
popular version.
Popular
of it,
version,
yeah.
better production. Really interesting. Oh, I'm going to tell you a quick story though about. Well, oh no, we'll do this one here. So, story time. 84, again a great year. 1984, I got to go on a trip to Switzerland. Our mother's a Swiss, and they had a program for folks who were children of Swiss people, and so I got to go there and go run around Switzerland with some folks. I was very sheltered. I grew up here in Utah, hadn't left the state, let alone the country. Well, except for moving around a little bit, but really hadn't left the country. And so I go head over to Switzerland. I'm the country bumpkin, and we had this kid from Brooklyn.
Oh.
Dominic was his name. He was from Brooklyn, and I had my Rush tapes. I had ZZ Top with my
Boston.
Boston. I had my mixtapes that I brought with me, and he pops out Grandmaster Flash. Boom.
Fab Five Freddy.
Fab Five Freddy. I mean, it's just, you're like, holy cow. And then just a couple years after that, of course, he's in Brooklyn. And then like 2 years after I came back from Switzerland, Beastie Boys comes out. And you're just like, holy cow, what is this thing called rap? And then we got Run DMC right here. And that 80s type of early Run DMC.
This wasn't their hit album either. Was it?
No, that's not the one with
That's the next album.
No, this is really old school stuff.
Yeah.
You had Grandmaster Flash. You had Sugar Hill Gang. Is it LL Cool J was putting stuff out then, and for just us country bumpkins in Utah, like, well, what is this? And it was really great.
Looking back, I can appreciate more. I mean, I did like the Beastie Boys. Everybody liked the Beastie Boys.
Oh yeah.
And their later stuff was even better. I mean, they really
Sabotage.
Sabotage.
Love Sabotage.
If I need to get my heart rate up, I put on Sabotage. And I want to start breaking things.
Who's your first concert?
Okay, great story. Okay, 1983.
It was both of our first concert.
Floods of '83, because the city was flooding.
Oh yes.
We had the snow melted too fast, and we had floods everywhere. And Men at Work.
Fantastic.
It was Cargo Tour.
That is awesome.
So
good.
People think Men at Work is like really poppy, but man, no, they're not. Colin Hay is amazing. I've got several of his records when he went solo, and amazing songwriter. Hey, they got sued too, by the way. So you know the story about them getting sued?
Oh yeah.
The Kookaburra.
The Kookaburra. I think we talked about that on an episode.
Did you? Okay. Well, then so subscribe and like and go back and watch the episode about the Kookaburra.
Go back to this album, because this is the 80s.
It's 80s, but it's not what you think it is.
No.
But we all thought it was what we thought it was, but it's not.
No, it's definitely anti a lot of things.
It's also really the last good Bruce Springsteen album. I've not liked anything he's done since. But
this is the boss.
Yeah.
In full glory.
Well, it's not just the boss. If the boss is the boss, it's the E Street Band.
Yeah. It's really
Clarence
showcased
Clemens and Little Steven. And I mean, he's got the greatest performance and that Jersey attitude. It was a really good album. I mean, I don't think there was a bad song on that album.
Yeah.
His later one, he kind of got full of himself and did that double album, or not even double album. He did 2 separate albums because he had so much music material, and not really good. Okay.
Tina.
She is the queen. Who cannot like Tina Turner? She is amazing.
Everybody loved her, wanted to work with her. I mean, she did a thing with Bryan Adams. She did one with Elton John. Who else did she work with? She was
in Tommy. Did you know she was in Tommy?
Tommy.
She was the acid queen in Tommy, and she did great. She was
in Mad Max.
Beyond the Thunderdome.
Yes, yeah.
And she was great there. It's just her attitude and her story is amazing. Before she'd gone solo, of course, she was married to Ike Turner. Mm-hmm. And Ike and Tina and the Ike Turner Review, again, that history, that 50s and 60s era of rock and roll. And Ike Turner really set conditions for and developed the sound that the British artists picked up. And now we got rock and roll, we have it today. But he was a terrible guy, just a complete... bad guy, not a good guy. And he was very abusive to Tina. And there's a great story where she finally just up and left. I think she had her daughter with her, and they're at a hotel in, Florida.
I think so.
And she had nothing. And I'm going to get the guy wrong. It was Brian Ferry? No, David Bowie? Somebody you would never think of. Some British rock pop guy had reached out to her and kind of brought her in and helped revive her career. Cool. Got her away from Ike and got her solo career started. And of course, by 1984, this
Private Dancer was huge.
When I was in Switzerland in the summer of '84, this was everywhere. The Swiss loved her because
she lived there.
She lived there. And this album, ZZ Top, Eliminator, a David Bowie album that I'm forgetting.
Let's Dance.
Were all the rage in Europe at the time.
And back then, you listened to the whole album. Nowadays, you just download one song, listen to one song.
Oh no, you'd buy the album.
So
and throw it out and
you were listening to multiple songs from
and all the
artist.
The tracks that, what do you call them, that didn't get played?
Yeah, on the B side.
Yeah, you were into that. Oh, I just saw Eddie.
No, I'm looking for an album. We're going to talk about an album that's not in here. But yeah, it was, that's no excuse. I go onto Spotify. I don't listen to single songs on Spotify. It's rare that I do. If I, who was somebody, it was Rick Beato or Andy Edwards was talking about an album the other day. I'm like, I want to hear this. I put on the whole album, listen to the whole album. Because you got, in the 80s, in the 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, particularly 70s and 80s, albums were albums. They were, the artist designed them to be from first song to last song to be something.
Placement of tracks, where everything was going to be. They knew, okay, I got to flip the album here. So when I get to the side B, track one on side B, it's got to hit you with something. Yeah.
They were purposely designed. That doesn't mean they were like concept albums. It's not like Rush 2112 or stuff Yes and Genesis were putting out. But there still was a purpose behind it. And it's album rock. It's album music. You have to listen to the whole thing. And we got away from that. And I think we're kind of getting back to that again. Of course, with
vinyl
coming back, and Spotify really pushes the album as opposed to the song. So folks, listen to the whole album. It's amazing.
If you don't learn anything from today, at least learn it. Oh, that's a great.
So my travel tracks is Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd. If I want to relax on a flight, I pop in Dark Side of the Moon, listen from start to finish, and it's just amazing.
Or watch The Wizard of Oz while listening.
Okay.
We'll cut that out.
I'm not saying us. No. I'm not saying us.
I'm kidding.
I'm saying something. Okay, U2 Unforgettable Fire. It is also it's the forgettable album. It really is in a weird place because you'd had U2 and Boy and War, and it was really
Under a Blood Red Sky was after this.
This was the concert album from this.
Yeah.
But they laid their mark as kind of a punk band. It was kind of post-punk, but it wasn't new wave. They were really, I think, more rock punk. I don't know what they were trying to go for, but either way, they were U2. But it was a different sound with those first two albums, maybe three albums. Then they get Daniel Lanois and Brian Eno. Now the story goes is if Brian Eno, if you ever listen to Brian Eno stuff he's produced, he's often, his stuff is very, he puts it very avant-garde. And so they hired, the record album hired the other guy. Lanois to kind of keep Brian Eno in check. And then they got out of the studio, they went to a castle, and there was a story behind the castle. I think the castle represented the Irish uprising against the British and all that. So it had some meaning. That castle had some meaning, and they recorded the castle, kind of like Led Zeppelin did with Headley Grange. So you get that sound in there, is that echoey reverb sound. But the tracks on here, outside of Pride, most people don't really get this album. But you've got
The Sort of Homecoming is great.
The Sort of Homecoming is great.
Bad is like probably the greatest U2 song ever written.
Well, Bad is great because they can take that song and turn it into anything they want. If they can segue, he does that. They do that a lot. Bad was it Bad they were performing at Live Aid when he jumped off stage?
Yeah.
And then in Rattle and Hum, they did Ruby Tuesday by the Stones.
Yep. Great album.
Great album. And it's one of those.
But it is a transition album for you, too.
But it's trippy, too. It's a headphone album. You got to listen with headphones on. It's really well produced. And it's a whole different direction. And of course, they did not Rattle and Hum, Joshua Tree. And then they went a completely. Oh, I was going to tell you, Octoon Baby. Yeah, you got it wrong a couple of episodes ago. I was yelling at my phone.
You get to my age and you forget things.
Yeah.
Well, Chance, that was a fantastic
Loved
episode.
every minute. Fantastic.
Yes, and it was great. But guess what? There's still one more part.
One more part.
One, like John.
Yes.
Next week, you'll get to see part 3. Hope you can wait.
Hope his bowels
It's a
can't.
cliffhanger. Still feeling it. We loved cliffhangers in the 80s, and this is the ultimate cliffhanger, waiting to find out what happened to John and the rest of us. This is the days of our lives.
And Mixtape Generation.
We'll see you next week on
Mixtape
Generation.